I feel like I've been through the hardest phase of doing shows.
What was that?
Bro, my hardest phase was I had this show in DC. My first show ever. This DJ hit me up. He's like, yo, I'll give you $1,000. You come out here, just do like 3 songs. And that time I only had Round Whippin' and Ghazi. And I went out there, I did it. Bro, I did so bad that everyone left the room and went to another bar. And
Everyone left the room for real?
Like,
it was just that your energy
like
was
there was like 4 girls that just like this. Like just shrugging, you know, like okay.
When was
cool.
this, a year ago?
Nah, like a year and a half ago. Yeah. And then I was just like, bro, I didn't perform for a year. You know what I mean?
Messed up with your confidence.
I was just like, I gotta take this shit serious.
So what did you do to change that?
What I did, I rehearsed. I took voice lessons. I started taking boxing lessons. I started hiking.
Damn.
Well, I did a lot, bro. Like, and then I stopped doing that maybe like 8 months ago. But then I, go back and forth on it, and then I just started performing.
Yeah.
When I started performing, like,
you just got comfortable.
I got comfortable. After the party tour, the first thing I said to myself was like, I gotta have good stage control, good crowd control in me. So I focused on crowd control. Now my crowd control is great. It's great. And now I'm back at the fundamentals, which is like remembering every word, singing on key, all that shit.
I like the way you just broke that down. That actually makes me want to go see you perform, just the way you you just broke down, some adversity that you went through, and you admitted, you're humble about it and how it broke you, and now look at where you're at. So
definitely, you gotta go through that though.
Of course.
Like that was the hardest shit. And then I did last year I did Day Off, Fool's Gold, and no one knew who I was. I did Round Whip, and maybe like 10 people knew, and those 10 people came up to me. But
it's a different time now.
Like I remember performing like this, and I always would look in like the eyes of someone who was doubting me. Like I would just look at them in the eyes until I made them. It was like a battle. Like, oh, you gonna hate on me? I'm gonna look at you until you feel awkward.
Yeah.
And then me and this dude were doing a stare off for a whole verse, bro. I started getting malicious on stage. I was like, I gotta get off. He was like, nah, you get off stage. And then I went back to practice after that.
Word.
Yeah.
I love it though. I love your confidence. And by the way, for the listener out there, we got A.Chal in the building, my Peruvian brother.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Yo, it's been a cool minute. I've been wanting to get you in. Shout out to your one of your managers, Saint.
Yep.
You've been chopping it up with him, and the timing finally aligns. We have the tour going on, so yeah, man. I just love what you're doing, honestly, and I've seen a few interviews from you, man, and I just realized you're like a deep person. You have a real story behind you, and most importantly, when I see another Latin brother, some Latinos out there doing that get it, I gotta bring them in because there's not too many of us, myself included, who are doing this. So I think it's important that we represent and do it, righteously. So welcome to Soulection Radio. This is show, what is it, 325? That's crazy. 325 shows, man. 10,000 hours in the building.
Damn. Yeah.
But how are you feeling, man? What's up?
I feel really good. As I was telling you earlier, I'm a fan of the radio station, the brand, and overall.
Thank you.
So being here is like a full circle for me.
Yeah, I didn't even know you knew. So it's
I didn't know you knew. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just told me. You're like, yo, I hit up my manager, and he's like, yo, I got a interview on Soulection Radio. How'd that happen? But
who brought that in?
Yeah, nah. And it's funny because I reached out, and I think.
But we met too at Splash House.
Yeah, we met at Splash House, and that was.
Then
the
I
first
remember
time.
you had the football jersey on.
I did.
It was matching. I was like, damn, that's a throwback.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Not like a regular football jersey. I was telling Saint, who's that dude? He's like, yeah, he's the one that does Soulection Radio. I was like, him? But he's Latin. I was like, I thought like some black dude, an Asian dude did it. He's like, nah, this is him. I was like, word? That's crazy. I gotta meet him.
Yeah, and it's tight because that Splash House session you did, it kind of reminded me of like the vibe was, what was it, MTV? I remember I gave you a little
Spring Break.
MTV Spring Break, like back in the day, like 2000s. Yeah. And I remember I gave you a little pep talk. I'm like, yo, you gotta just go out there and just treat it like, even if people don't know you, just go out there and own that shit.
Yeah.
So, man. But yeah, yo, the project's out. I just heard maybe like a year and a half ago. I didn't actually know your music, but I heard Round Whippin', and I played it on the show, and that's what captured my attention. Yeah. And then fast forward, then I hear Matrix, and then I just realized that, you know, I know Mutual, your manager, and then from that point on, that's how it all. Yeah. I was like, oh, and then I started researching you. Zane Lowe played what track did he premiere on Beats
Far
One?
From Home.
Yeah, he premiered a few. He's been supporting you for a minute. Yeah. And
he came to my studio.
Word.
He came to my studio about a year and a half ago. Yeah, he came by and he was like, "Oh, like, yeah, you're a superstar. You gotta like get your music out there. What can I do to help?" Yeah. And I said, "Let me get a meeting with Jimmy Iovine." He thought I was kidding, and I was like, "For real." And then I met Jimmy like 2 weeks after that.
Word. Yeah. How did that conversation go?
Bro, he said two things to me. He just said, "You have to build more, and don't sign to a record label."
Dang, he said that?
Yeah, and I listened to him.
How long ago was that?
About 8 months ago.
Okay. Have you spoke to him since?
No. Hell no. What's he gonna tell me? He got big things. He doing big things.
You think he heard On God's?
I hope he did.
Word. Well, I know he listens to Soulection from time to time, so we're gonna make sure we play that. We'll get into some music by you soon if people are unaware or barely learning about you right now through Soulection. I'm gonna actually play a joint. I like to play some songs on here that represent the artists that I know they have some sort of correlation to. I'm about to play this joint. Pay attention.
Okay. Good.
Young Guru. And Poppy got jerked out.
So yeah, had to play this joint.
I love this song, bro.
Yo, the Diplomats. Now you moved to Queens, right, when you were younger, and then right when you moved from Peru
to Queens,
and I know you also spent some time in Harlem.
Yep.
And I know the Diplomats. It's crazy because I'm not even from New York, but the Diplomats were super important to me growing up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I used to have my Mesquite shirts and my jeans. I used to paint them.
I used to paint my shit too. Wow.
Yeah, I used to paint them, the Timbs, the Air Forces, and I always used to think I was going to the Puerto Rican parade in New York. Never went, but I always used to watch.
Where'd you grow up? West Coast or East Coast?
West Coast.
Oh, really?
I'm from LA. I'm from Cali. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't have Puerto Rican festival. It's a whole different vibe.
It's a whole different. There is one, but it's nowhere near like New York. You know, nothing. So like, let's talk about the culture that you grew up in and how that inspired what you do.
So, man, the culture I grew up in, like, there's two cultures I grew up in. The one that was in my house and the one that was outside of my house. Yeah. The one in my house was Peruvian, like really Peruvian. My mom, she's from Puno, around Puno, which is like super indigenous. She's actually from a smaller town near Puno called Patambuco. Wow. But you know, she's super old school, bro. Like, I guess how you would say hick. She's from the country, you know what I mean? So she always stayed at the crib. My dad worked a lot. Yeah. He would make us speak English, so he would enforce, like, you know, do your homework, read all these English books. But I was still very much in a Peruvian household. Outside of that, though, you know, it was different. It was like Diplomats. You know?
So you had two worlds. Yeah. And I have a question. What were your parents playing in the household? Like, what kind of music?
Actually, like, they didn't play much music. Like, my dad played music on the weekends, but for a while I was in a strict home. You know, it was like you go home, you do homework, and then you work, like helping the house. Yeah. Super strict. So there wasn't too much music playing. Like, even when I bought CDs, the Diplomat CD, I had to buy it and put it under my bed so they don't see it.
Wow, they're very strict.
Super strict, because if they would have saw that, they were like, what are you listening to?
Well, what's the trip is that I know that your pops, you know, he wasn't too sure about the music direction you were taking. And I know that, I remember you mentioned that he wanted you to choose another career path, right? He wanted you to do like X-rays. He wanted you to take X-rays.
Well, because I was failing in school, so he's like, yo, you do X-rays and exterminators. He's like, yo, it's like that's a year course. You take that, you're good. You'll make a good living. You make enough of a good living, you know. Or you could come work for me. Yeah.
But like you chose your own route.
Nah, I was like,
I
fuck
feel
that,
yeah,
bro.
nah, I feel
Okay.
that. The same thing. My pops, you know, was trying to push me to be a lawyer or a teacher,
Yeah.
and I'm like, they didn't really get it.
Mhm.
So let me ask you, what do your parents think now that you're actually prospering and like, you know, you're confident and you're comfortable with what you're doing and you're making money? Like, how do they feel?
Well, my dad is someone that he respects numbers, not opinions.
Yeah.
You know, so he sees the numbers now, and he's really supportive.
Yeah.
He embraces me a lot.
They still out in New York?
No, he's in Boston.
Oh, he's in Boston.
Yeah, he's in Boston.
Got it.
He came out to New York though, and he saw me perform at the
Whoa.
LAMC, and he was with me for 2 days, like 2 days in the life of A.Chal, and his mind was blown because he thought it was just me in the studio getting fucked up,
Yeah.
recording songs.
He
and
didn't
then
really know.
He didn't know all the work. It's like 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. You know, he didn't know that. So when he saw it, and he's like, damn, he goes from the studio, then he's doing an interview, then he's rehearsing, then he's doing another interview, then he's doing a show, then he's doing the after party, then he's politicking, then he got a meeting with the president. You know what I mean? It's like, his mind was blown. He's like, damn, like, you're doing a lot for your age. And I was like, oh, thanks, man.
That's
you know,
amazing.
We're trying hard.
You had mentioned earlier that you took Jimmy Iovine's recommendation, his advice, and you're independent.
Mhm.
How are you able to survive like as an independent artist right now? Like,
That's a really good question because, you know, we're in a time right now when a lot of up and coming artists who blow up really fast are flaunting money.
Yep.
And honestly, like, if you want to be independent, it's a different route.
Absolutely.
You know, my manager said it best. He's like, the quickest way to make $1 is saving $1. So he's like, I've been not spending money as much as I used to. I've been like more balanced with my lifestyle, more focused on the work. Before I'd be like, damn, I'm bored. Shit, I'm about to go get a table.
Yeah.
I'm about to go get a car. Text these 10 girls, come up, you know, just for the moment type shit, just to write something about. But now it's like, if I'm feeling that way, I'm gonna pick up a guitar, because when I get on stage now, I want to have a guitar solo, or like I'm gonna go and try to record this song. You know, like I've really matured a lot in that sense.
Yeah, I can tell you've matured a lot. That's a very mature mind state. Most artists, or they get that check, or they get a bit of fast money, and they just like, you know, we haven't had money like that in our time. So once you get it, you don't really know what to do with it, and you just like, yo, everything that you've always wanted, you kind of just go out and get it, and then you're like, oh man, like my money's going. You know, so that's smart. That's good that you've been going back to the music and still working.
Well, I got like, I had a publishing deal like 4 years ago when I first came out to LA, and when I had that pub deal, man, I spent that check fast, bro. I was like,
that's what you were talking about earlier.
But a lot of my songs were based on that year, just like, and I was doing good.
What year was this?
This is like 3 years ago.
Got it.
You know,
So this was before Welcome to Ghazi.
This is around the time I was writing Welcome to Ghazi.
Got it.
I wasn't even thinking about being an artist.
Yeah.
I was just writing songs for other people. And then
who did you write for?
Like, so you write and produce songs, and then people pick them out. But so I can't say I ever was like, oh, I'm writing for this person, but a lot of girls. Like J-Lo, Rita Ora.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild. I would have never expected
that.
Yeah. Did you learn a lot from those sessions and like,
hell yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I worked with like a couple of big producers who wrote like some huge number ones. And there's like a math to it. So I applied that math to what I wanted to do. And that's why I think my songs are as good as
like Matrix.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, get the codes.
Yeah, definitely. Get the codes, never mind them.
Hey, well, actually, you know what? Let's get into. That's like one of my favorite, Matrix, and I like Wanto a lot. Yeah, that's a joint fight. That's a dope track right there. So let's get into it. A.Chal, Matrix, off of On God's out right now. This is Soulection Radio. Make sure you keep it locked. You feel it?
Yeah, I just felt it right now.
That's good. What made you feel it? Listening to this?
Yeah, thinking about that, thinking about everything coming in full circle. There's no reason to not be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's what you do, man. It's your music. It's there just happens to be people watching. That's how I see it. And they actually know your music. They're coming out to see you, but you just got to treat it like it's just you in the booth and just you doing what you do. it's normal, you know.
Hell yeah, I know. It's hard to do that though when there's a lot of people watching.
It is. It is. But you can't get lost in it, because once you get lost in it, then you start overthinking. You just gotta focus, you know, and just keep it moving.
Hell yeah, I'm thankful, bro.
Yeah. So let's talk about that joint. So you produced that.
Well, so how Matrix was made was my boy P on the boards. He's actually from the Bronx. Shout out P on the boards. ASAP P.
That's a dope beat.
He sent me a beat, and the intro starts like that, but then it goes into some boom bat drums. And I wrote the song like that, but I was like, man, only a few people gonna fuck with the boom bat shit. You know what I'm saying? So then I gave it to my boy, Business Boy, who's worked with like Party Next Door. He produced my favorite party song with that song with Quavo, Boot Up, and he put the drums on it, and then I arranged it. I put fake drums on it that sounded like that, but I knew they weren't gonna be as good as his, so I was like, yo, you just redo my drums.
It was just a filler, yeah.
Yeah. So he redid it, and then I arranged it, mixed it. So like, you know, I'm always like the chemist in the lab, like you come here.
You're like arranging.
Yeah.
You're like an engineer too. You do everything.
I do everything.
You're a writer.
Bro. Everything.
You're a producer. And you're an artist.
You gotta do everything.
Nowadays you do.
Yeah. If you don't, bro, if you don't got the resources, you gotta do it yourself. You can't like. There's no excuses.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But go back to the story of the Matrix. So what truly inspired that though?
Okay, so I was out. It was like I think a Thursday night. I went out. Actually, I was out with at first with ASAP Blue. Shout out the whole ASAP gang. We were at One Oak, and he was DJing. And while we were there, we had been already drinking and shit. But then my boy came. He's like, "Yo, I got some new shrooms that I just brought back from where he grows them."
Wow.
So I took like three caps, too much. And it started there where I was at the club, and I felt like the club was fake. And then we drove
Were you starting to have a bad trip?
Nah, not a bad trip. It just felt like everything was a little fake, which it was. And then we went to Sam's downtown strip club, and then bro, like I'm telling you, like the shit felt so fake. It felt like I was in the Matrix in a video game, to the point where the atmosphere, I could pinch it. Like I was grabbing the air, and I was like if I could fold the air like it was fabric.
Wow.
I remember doing that. Well, there was a girl on me dancing.
Wow.
She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, "Do you see this?"
You're grabbing atoms.
Yeah.
You're grabbing the Matrix, pretty much. That's crazy. Did you do like over an eighth or something, or like? I'm curious how much you did to be feeling like that. There must have been some strong shrooms.
Man, it was like I said, it was like three caps.
Damn.
The whole thing, yeah.
Okay.
So, so because they play trap music, you know, that was the vibe.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't sad about it. It was just an awareness type thing. But I was like, it's such a fire mood, because like the money is coming down in slow motion, the girls on me in slow motion.
Yeah.
And I'm not fazed by it, but I'm also happy that I'm not fazed by it.
Yeah.
And then the 808s were hidden, and I was like, damn, how can I bring this vibe in real life? Like that's all I was thinking about. So we went to the studio that night. My boy who's here too, Phil, he was there, and he was just like, oh, he helped me out
from Harlem.
Yep.
Got it.
He helped me.
Yo, that's a dope story. I will say something real quick. It's crazy for me to say it, but Soulection was actually, for me, was spawned. It was created, like the concept of it, through shrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had just graduated high school. I don't think I've ever really talked about this on it, but I don't mind sharing it, because the same way Steve Jobs has his story about acid. Yeah. Like, I had just graduated from high school. I never did drugs. I barely drank. I never smoked weed. Before I smoked weed, the first thing I ever did was shrooms.
Yep, that's a good way to come in.
Yeah, and I remember I started. My mom's boyfriend at the time started playing some like dope Chicago house music. Yeah. That was the first time I was ever put on to house music, and you know how people say, "Oh, I've had an eargasm."
Yeah.
Well, I had a literal eargasm. Like it felt like sounds crazy. It felt like a climax, but through music.
Right.
And from that point, like I just started getting these ideas. I'm like, you know what? I need to start doing these mixes. I need to start playing these beats that no one knows about and put it onto the world. And I need to grab a microphone, like give me a mic, let me start talking to the people, let me put it on through, at the time, 2007, podcasts were heavy back then. You remember podcasts and blogs were a thing, MySpace days. So I started just pushing, and it wasn't called Soulection at the time, it was called Ill Vibes. And within that first year, we got like, I don't know, I think I was able to attract like 30,000 subscribers within year one.
Crazy.
And from that point on, from all the relationships I made, Soulection was created.
Crazy.
So that all stemmed from the mushroom trip. And those are still my favorite to this day. You know, it's been a minute, it's been a long time, but
it's about you want to share an experience that you feel is a good experience.
Yeah, and I've had some great trips, I've had some bad trips, but what I've learned is that you got to respect it, you know. And but yeah, that's crazy, man. I love that story. I know Love and Hennessy, just congrats on it, is hitting like it's doing well. Up. It's going up.
We just about to hit 5 mil.
Yeah, and the video as well. The video about to come out. Right?
Man, it's a tough situation right now because behind the scenes there's a lot going on with that song, and I mean I should know in a week, depending on what happens. The video may come out, if it may not, because if it don't, it's a bigger movie.
It's all good, man. Well, let's get into Love and Hennessy right here with A.Chal. Keep it locked, Soulection Radio. Once again, that's Love and Hennessy. We got A.Chal in the building. That's currently out on Guys, if you're just discovering this man right now. And the story behind this track, you said this beat's 6 years old?
Yeah, so I was in the studio with my longtime friend, FKI First. And bro, we made a lot of songs. We usually just roll up and he'll just start playing beats. And he played one beat. He's like, I'm not gonna play it for you. I'm like, why not? He's like, it's just like 6 years old. You're not gonna fuck with it. I was like, what? He played it. As soon as I heard the beginning, I didn't even hear the beat drop. I was like, let me get in the booth. It's like some cumbia shit. He's like, what's that? He's from Atlanta.
Word.
So he's like, what's that? I was like, let me go. I'll show you what it is. I went in there, bro. I did this song in 20 minutes, no lie.
20 minutes.
Yeah, I just come back from Miami too, and this situation that happened. So, what did I talk about in the song about? This girl throwing champagne at me.
Word.
Club.
And your writing process, are you a studio guy? Are you like in the bedroom? Are you like, what's your process?
Like if I hear a beat I like, I can't hear it more than like 5 seconds. The first 3 seconds,
and
then I'm like, that's it.
That's it.
Because once the 5 seconds go, all the magic leaves.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've had to throw away like ideas because I'm like the magic left.
Yeah. But music is all feeling, right? You just feel it. You just know when the beat hits within the drums.
Yeah.
Whether if it's some chords or just a certain sound, it just captures you, and that's how you know. How often do you find yourself? You still produce a lot, or you kind of just sitting back and focusing on writing more?
I mean, I haven't been like making beats from. I started making actually beats from scratch again recently, like in the last 4 months. A lot of the new music coming out, I started this stuff, but I feel like, you know, as a person, not only as a creative, you can only be great at so many things. Probably only really one thing. So I'm not trying to be good.
Yeah.
So like I'm fortunate enough to know people who are great at other things, and I bring them in. Yeah. Let them be great at that, and I'll be great at that.
But if you need to produce, you know how. And it's crazy because you started making beats when you were like 10 at the Boys and Girls Club, and I know that you were flipping beats to make some sort of income.
Yep.
And that's what kind of eventually led you back out here to Los Angeles.
Yep.
How do you feel your life has changed since moving to LA?
Man, I mean, like I used to be such a city boy. In my eyes, I was like, you know, New York City over everything. And when I came out here, I was like, LA's fake, da-da-da-da-da. But fortunately enough, like, I met some people from LA who are actually from Cali and introduced to a whole nother side of Cali for me. And now I feel so Californian because I feel so relaxed.
Yeah.
I don't like, in New York, it's more about like what you're wearing, how you're spending your money. I mean, it is like that out here too, but out here you can get away from that.
Yeah.
You know, you can go hit the beach. You can hit a hike. You can go to East LA.
Yeah.
like you don't have to be in that.
Yeah.
And I like that about that.
What's crazy is I thought you were Mexican or something.
Yeah. Everyone does, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you blend out here perfect.
Yeah, I know.
And that's why I think it's really dope.
That's why I like it out here. Yeah, they were like, yo, you Mexican? I'm like, yeah, for sure.
Like we're all one.
We're all one, it
but
don't matter.
You got that Incan blood in you.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man.
Definitely.
That's really, it's really great to see you like doing your thing and how you break everything down. So like, what's next for you outside of this tour?
Outside of this tour, well, I mean, now we're like a week in the tour, and I feel like my main goal right now is to touch the people. I've spent the last 2 years in touching people's ears and putting out music, but now it's time to like meet them face to face, be able to talk to me, be able to see that like what I'm bringing is something real.
Yeah.
And because it's so independent right now, it's such a raw moment. Like, I really want to capitalize off that. So we're bringing merch with us. We're shooting videos. And as far as like how my business will progress, how my career will progress, all the superstar stuff, I mean, no point in talking about that.
Yeah.
You know? That'll just grow.
Yeah.
That'll grow.
That'll
But
grow.
For me, really right now, it's about connecting with the youth, because
That's what's up.
there's a lot of like, I don't want to just say Latinos. There's a lot of people who are in a hybrid environment where their parents come from something and then they're in something now and they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, they can't figure out, well, what should I be doing? This is cool, not cool.
Yeah.
I get a lot of DMs and emails from like kids who are like, yo, like you look like me, and it makes me feel like I can just be me and not have to be like something.
Like you can do it too.
Yeah. Like I'm proud of being me. I don't have, you know, and
That's tight.
that's what it's about.
How does that feel?
That feels great, bro. I mean,
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
And what I like about you, and because you're fairly a new artist, and sometimes I have artists coming here that are new or even been around for a minute, and sometimes it's hard to have a discussion or to talk to them because I can't explain it, but you're a very approachable person.
Thanks, man.
So that's what I like about you is like you can talk you can talk for hours here about a lot of different things. If I throw anything at you, you be able to go on about 10-15 minutes, or you have some sort of connection or understanding of what it is. But I think that's so important that you're going back and like trying to take your music, and your music's fun, but you also have a message to it.
Definitely.
It's a balance.
Gotta have a purpose.
Yeah.
No purpose, what are you doing?
And it's inspiring other people that look like us, you know, to keep it moving.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's even sometimes Asian people from India. People who just like, I'm not black, I'm not white, I'm somewhere in the middle. How am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to act like a gangster? Am I supposed to act like a preppy? You know?
That's
like,
real.
they don't know what to do. It's like, you don't gotta be none of that. Just be yourself.
Of course. Let's get into the joint that introduced me to you. We're almost done here.
Okay.
And I know you also have, I had asked you low-key behind the scenes if you could provide us with about a handful of songs that inspire A.Chal as an artist.
Yeah.
You know, just like all time, like classics and just things that move you. So hopefully, you know, you got something lined up for us.
Definitely. My taste and my inspiration derives from so many groups of things, whether it's like soul stuff that was sampled from like Diplomats, to alternative rock.
Yeah. Cause you have that psychedelic, like it's like R&B with soulful.
I love psychedelic, bro. I'm a psychedelic dude in real time. So
yeah,
it's
I know.
Know?
Let's get into round whipping.
This is psychedelic right here.
Yes, sir. Yo, that beat slaps. Yo, what's that sample? I need to find that sample.
I think it's called.
You know, I don't think I looked
Cartons. The Carton. It's hard to find.
Is it on Who Sample? Do you know?
Nah, it's
all
not.
Right, I'm gonna ask you. You need to pass me that. It's a hard sample. Who produced that?
11 Lights.
11 Lights from where?
He's out of Portugal. He's actually one of my
Portugal.
boys. I met him when I was working with Rita Ora.
Okay.
He's a producer too.
Yo, that's hard.
Yeah, he's fire.
I might need that instrumental too, cause that just slaps. Like just to write out to for my own personal well-being.
Yeah.
That one's hard. But yeah, man, it's so easy to talk to you.
Thanks,
I was just talking to the homies right here, and we were just saying like, yo, it's a really good session.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love when I'm just able to just chop it up about life.
Hell yeah, I'm not even high right now, which is cool. So it's dope.
Yeah, we just chop it up. So what's crazy is aside of round whipping, in terms of what made me want to get you in here, I saw this interview, and you mentioned this crazy concept about shamans.
Yeah, shamans, about auto-tunes.
Yeah, and it's auto-tunes, and you just kind of talked about how the auto-tune kind of kills like the energy, almost like the tones, you know, and the feeling. And Can you break that down for the people? Because I think, if you remember that.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, I'm about to get on my
spit some knowledge right now, please.
I'm about to get on my knowledge shit. I definitely feel like, you know, it's obvious, you know, and if you're not aware, you should be, that we're slowly becoming digitalized in every aspect, you know. And music is a great point to see what the pulse of humanity is like. And popular music is becoming more and more digitalized, less soul in it. When I say soul, I mean like something that's coming from human vibration.
Absolutely.
With no filter, with no nothing being digitalized. So back then you would have bass grooves, you would have things that weren't on the click, 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 click loops, you know? So you were able to tap into emotions, but I feel like now with the way things are going, it's less like that. And I'm not here to hate on it, because some of my music is like that, you know? But I'm aware of it too. I mean, there's great things about being digital. For example, you're here, I'm here. Maybe if it wasn't for stuff being digital, it wouldn't be here.
Absolutely.
But at the same aspect, everything come with a price.
Yeah.
You know, so the price is like, even with vocals, like auto-tune vocals are becoming so mainstream, where it's like, even if you're a good singer, it's like, I want to sound auto-tuney because that's what the kids want to hear. So not everyone is like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like when I went to the Amazon and I was listening to shamans sing, they were hitting all these in-between notes that made me feel weird. That I actually used to make fun of it, because when I was growing up, my parents would play ethnic music from northern Peru, and I would always be like, this shit sound like yodeling. Like who listens to this?
Yeah.
But then I understood that it has like historic value in it, and you know, I'm just aware of it. It's like it's good for you. It's good for you. Even when you go to church, think about when you go to a Catholic church, how they sing to you. You know, those things aren't really they're not around as much anymore.
Yeah. I think I found it. I had written something down, and the way you had just broke it down, you also had said, like, you were spitting game, bro. You said, you know, so like what is usually off key isn't, you know, because auto-tune can spiritually harm you because you're hitting things in that key all the time.
Yeah.
And then you're like, some of those keys could actually help you because they're crossing over.
Frequencies.
The frequencies.
Because think about it, each key is just a frequency. So if you're always hitting those same frequencies, you're missing out on all these other frequencies. And it's like shrooms. That's why you take shrooms.
Yep.
They open vibrations for other things that you haven't experienced, and then that's how you had this great idea.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, like, sometimes those vibrations are a necessity without you knowing. So.
And you also took we're getting back on it, but ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Yo, what's that? I've always wondered about that. Like, what was that journey like? Because I've always, man, it's so interesting.
Yeah. Man, that shit's crazy. I think ayahuasca is different for everybody.
Yeah.
One, because I mean, some people are doing it out now in California and New York and Tokyo, whatever. I did it in the Amazon with my mom and dad.
Wow. That's powerful.
It was crazy. I feel like you should do it in the Amazon, just because maybe I'm being biased to my experience, but that's how I feel. I don't feel like you should take that outside of that.
Yeah.
But the thing about that experience was that's kind of what helped me be where I'm at right now. Because before, like, I didn't really find a purpose in being an artist as much as now. Now I feel like what I learned from ayahuasca, I want to give on to people, you know, and that's just being very aware of where you're at in life. Kind of how Bob Marley was.
Yeah, that's
you know
real.
What I mean?
And now with all of this, I don't want to say pressure, but now that you have all the attention on you, how do you find that balance in staying humble and just keeping it moving and focus on the music?
Well, I gotta give a lot of credit to my team. A lot of my team are people that I've known for years, since I was a kid, or that I've known for at least 6 years now. And I have no yes men around me, for one.
That's real.
So like,
everyone keeps it 100.
1,000%.
If you're doing something wrong, or if it doesn't sound right, they let you know.
All the time.
That's so important.
And like literally, if I haven't known them for 10 plus years, they're like blood relatives. So I have that, and none of them are like Hollywood type dudes. And even when we're around Hollywood shit, I'm always around them, so it never gets fugazi, you know? So
That's real.
So I keep balance within my community.
That's what's up.
Hell yeah.
So, yo, man, I wish you, like, I know you're going to continue on killing it with this tour.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And 10 cities, North America. You plan on going to Europe?
Yeah, I want to go to Europe. I want to sell out when I go to Europe, though.
Yeah.
So we still building it.
Okay.
Might take me a couple months, a year, who knows.
We'll definitely get you on a Soulection live show as well. Get you plugged in on that. And
I'm sad I missed the last festival.
It's all good. It's all good. It was the first one.
It looked huge.
It was crazy. It was like 4,800 people, 5,000 people.
That's crazy.
At the shrine here.
That's crazy.
So from the internet to straight, like, from 20 people in a room to all of a sudden 6 years later, that's what it took. So yeah, we'll definitely get you on the next one. We're plugged in. Now you and I are in the matrix now.
Hell yeah,
so
we're in the matrix together.
You feel
now.
me?
Yep.
But congrats on everything, bro.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, of course. That was a dope discussion. We talked about a lot of drugs and just opening up your mind. But that's what it's about, you know?
What it's about.
You made me talk about stuff I don't even talk about.
Hell yeah.
So once again, On God's out right now. And this is not the last you'll be hearing from my boy.
For sure.
All right, A.Chal. Shout out to him and his team. The visuals are amazing. And if he's coming to a city near you, make sure you come out.
Check out gazi.world, gazi.world. That's my website for any tour tickets and music purchase or merch, whatever.
That is right. Once again, Soulection 325 live and direct. A.Chal.
All right.
Peace.
Thanks, bro. Peace.